Hey man, all good, dude. Good game. That's funny. Alright, so now we are on Shire Red with our brand new tank that needs to be oh, I don't have any money, huh? Let's see what this guy can do. There's a lot of rounds. Oh, okay, the turret does go all the way around. It's been a long time since I played these on the Super Test server, so couldn't remember which tiers had turrets that didn't move all the way around. I love how low that tank is. A-44, so cool. See, these are the tanks that I liked. The Hetzer, Stug, A-44. You know, those, that 4, 5, 6. Those are great tiers. They're low, they're cool. It's awesome. Alright, what do we got here? What is this guy? BKD. A lot of dudes. Oh, there's a heavy coming into support. I don't like that. Okay, we have one artillery. Wow. This is an upgraded tank, so not too surprised. All of the reload is... What is that? 2.72? Wow. Alright, what's he got going on over here? Let's see if I can now. Wow, I can't pen him. Alright, I'm just gonna sweep around and see if I can do something here. Whoa, or not, because that's scary. Yikes. Oh, really? Youchie mama. Oh. That hurt. That hurt. That hurt. I'm gonna be the ricochet king until I upgrade. Ow. Okay, I'm out of here. Whoa. Alright, let's rethink our strategy here. Oh my gosh. How did you get... Oh, it was just a lucky angle. Yeah, that was a dumb move on my part. Should be experimenting. Alright folks, kind of a backwards start. So you started off the video hearing some pre-recorded commentary by myself where I was looking at, well, you saw it. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and officially say welcome aboard to the to an after action report with RONIN 47R. And this is kind of a blast from the past. I'm taking out some old videos off the hard drive and sharing them with you. This is the things where I've been recording things, and I'll get to it later. Well, I've gotten to it so much later that this was the 360 that I recorded off with these, and that's been quite some time. But nonetheless, the fun does not get old, so that's a positive. You previously saw some A-44 stuff, and predominantly this is an A-44 video. This is the one and only game where you're going to see a Type 64, and for obvious reasons, or maybe not obvious reasons, I'm using the Type 64 because I wanted to, and it was because the A-44 was in battle. So this was at the time, well, I mean, I guess it still is, but this is a cool place for specifically a light tank, tank destroyer. In my opinion, I really liked coming out here and seeing what I can see for the team. It's central, and in this case, someone sticks it out there and, well, gives you an opportunity. So here I am, taking that opportunity, although my teammate finishes them off, so good, and good. Now, off in the far south southeast corner, up there in the high area. You can see there are some enemies cruising south and getting ready to make the turn, and they're hiding amongst the buildings. Well, for now it's just one, but there'll be more. And you know, that's kind of a typical place here on this particular map. You know, just kind of like I usually do, I get carried away with watching my own videos, or anybody's videos for that matter, because it's just kind of fun to watch the games. It kind of takes me back to you know, to playing it myself, and sometimes I get a little quiet. But what I was thinking about, maybe it's ironic, maybe it's you know, serendipitous, I don't know, call it what you will, but it's funny that as I randomly pulled this video out of a folder, well, okay, I mean, in all honesty, the A-44 was at the top of the list because it starts with the letter A. And so in the folder that says A-44, I'm knocking out the videos, and amongst that group of videos was the Type 64. And so why I say it's kind of you know, ironic, lucky, that it turns out that here I am looking at a Type 64 game, is because the Type 64 is a light tank, and it's a premium tank. And in real life, real time, I'm actually, as you probably know, because you're following the videos and know what's going on in real life, the Bulldog, the M41B Brazilian Bulldog, the Tier 8 light tank for the American side, the premium, just came out just a few days ago. Well, technically 2 days ago. And so I've been playing that. So it's just kind of funny to me that here I am looking at a video that, for all intents and purposes, I randomly grabbed out of the bag, and there I am in a light tank. And yet, in real life, I've been playing a light tank. So it's just kind of funny. So it's kind of a unique opportunity to talk to you guys during this after action report about the light tanks concept. According to me, you know, these two tanks, I can't help but do a comparison. Obviously, they're different by 2 tiers. Obviously, they're different by nation. I'm going to say that the Type 64 is very similar. It's more traditional to a light tank in that it has armor-piercing rounds. And, you know, I don't really know what to say about it. It's a light tank. It's great at scouting and harassing and all that kind of fun stuff. In comparison, the M41B Brazilian Bulldog is very unique. And again, I don't tell you what to buy. I don't say what's better or worse. I don't like to go down that road. I can tell you what I enjoy, but I'm never ever going to tell you, quote, the way it should be. You know, the truth. You know, the rule. No, I don't believe in that. That's for you to decide. But getting back to my opinion, it's just really interesting for me that in comparison to this premium light tank, or any other light tank for that matter, the Bulldog is so very unique in that it's a derp type of tank. It fires HEP rounds as its primary round, and it has heat rounds for its premium round. So with HE rounds, it's a whole different animal. It's like the Sherman with the derp gun. It's like the KV-2 with the derp gun, and so on and so on. It's a different animal. And for those of you that have or do play those types of tanks with that type of gun, you can imagine the outcome you get from firing that type of gun. So, you know, I don't know. I'm just stating the obvious. That's where they, you know, one of the areas that they differ. With that said, though, and this was, you know, an older video, so I dare I say I'm a little older and wiser. I can guarantee I'm older. I can't guarantee I'm wiser. But, you know, I'm not a light tanker. Never have claimed to be. It's my worst area. But I gotta say that these two play similarly. And if I were to actually jump back into the Type 64, I challenge myself. I wonder if I would actually be better at it now because of the different practice I've had. And the thing is that when it comes to light tanks, you have the, you know, again, disclaimer. I know I'm full of disclaimers. Sorry, it's just who I am. because I like to be so exact with my words. That's important to me. But I look at light tanks being pretty much in two categories. All light tanks are light tanks as an umbrella. But when it comes to light tanks, you can either be a passive scout or you can be more of an active scout slash miniature medium tank. Now in this particular game, you can see I came out with 62,000 silver, which is great. 4168 as far as experience. Did snag the 2 times multiplier because it was, of course, for that particular moment in time, that was the first game that I won. And I really enjoy this game, this tank. It's really a lot of fun. I just wish it had more ammunition. Wish it had a little more alpha, but it is what it is. It's great at what it is. It doesn't pretend to be something else. And I'm happy with the way I placed. Now this video, I'm going to go ahead and jump my conversation back over to the mainstream purpose behind this particular video, and that is the A-44. You know, I just got through harping on scout tanks and going backwards from least to best, or most often played. Mediums are what I play medium amount of the time. I generally like to metaphorically say I grew up on heavy tanks and tank destroyers. I won't get into the reason why, but that's just, you know, where I started off, and that's where I felt most comfortable, and I like them. Then I branched off into medium tanks, and of course naturally branched off into light tanks. But getting back to the medium tank, I'm really starting to learn an appreciation for the medium tank, which is, it's going to sound really elementary. To me, a medium tank is a heavier light tank. So with the medium tank, and I'm just pigeonholing all medium tanks for this conversation because there is a lot of variety within the medium tank world, in World of Tanks. But medium tanks are a real happy medium. You have, no pun intended, you have the speed, you have better armor than a light tank, you have a pretty darn good gun, you know, again, typically. So you can do a lot of what I call Johnny on the spot. You jump in one area, you do what you need to do. You're spotting, you're harassing. Typically, me, not brawling. And then you get out of dodge and you go somewhere else when it starts getting bad. I do the same thing with a light tank, but you just have less of everything that I just mentioned, except for speed, typically. So with the medium tanks, I'm really starting to appreciate what they can do because of their diversity on the battlefield. And more specifically, the A-44, I'm really excited about this line. I've used the whole line in Super Test. So I've had a taste, not a big taste, but you know, a slight taste for a non-live situation. And I stress non-live because just because you play with it on Super Test, that does not mean it carries over the way it is on Super Test, on the server, does not translate over exactly to live because Wargaming has the opportunity to change anything they want until it goes live. So with that said, that's why I really specifically say that when I was playing with the you know, the 8, 9, 10s for this line on the Super Test, yeah, they seem really interesting to me. I mean, in a lot of ways, there's a handful of medium tanks and the whole medium tank concept in general. But the A-44 seems to be, I'm not going to say one of my favorites. You know, it's in my top 3, top 5, easy, if not top 3. There's something about this tank that I've really enjoyed. It seems to be, I mean, I like the uniqueness of it, but getting away from just the aesthetics, just the way it plays, I think I like how much lower it is. And gosh, this is going to sound really not intelligent, but I don't know how to articulate it any differently. I feel like this line, and I'll speak specifically to the A-44, the A-43, you know, the tier 6, tier 7. I feel like you have to have a little more finesse with this line. I feel like with this line, you have to be a little more careful, a little more like it's a light tank. you never want to get shot anyway. I don't care what tank you're in. Nobody likes it. But when you compare tier to tier, tier 6 in the other medium line to the tier 6 in this line, tier 7 to tier 7, tier 5 to tier 5, but most specifically tier I don't even know why I said tier 5, but specifically to the because it's the same. But you know, the tier 6 and tier 7, it just seems like the you know, the T-44 as an example, you can brawl a little more. You can take a punch a little more. Not so much in these. I also feel like, and I don't, you know, shame on me. It's not a review. You know, but I didn't go and look up the camo rating values. Although on Xbox they only tell you average or good or just these kind of generic words, which I wish they would actually give you true metrics. But I feel like that the, you know, this line, the A-44 as an example, is a little more stealthy. It's physically shorter in height. Also, too, side scraping. You know, there's pros and cons with everything in life. And having any tank that has a turret in the rear of its hull, there is an advantage to side scraping in that when you pull back to get your gun on target, you do not have to expose as much of your tank. You're, you know, exposing some tracks, but with the turret in the back versus the turret in the front, to pull your gun to pull your tank back to get that gun on target, you do not have to reveal, expose, if you will, the front of your tank like you would with a turret on the front. Turret in the back, you pull back a bit, just a little bit, and already your gun is exposed on target. You take care of business and you scoot forward. The whole time you're only exposing, of course, your gun slash turret and and your tracks and the side of your hull. And if you have the right enemy with the appropriate penetration limitation and the right angle, it could work out really well in your favor. Now in this particular game, with the speed, I was able to take the hill, as you can already see. Challenging is that there are 3 captors on the flag, and the team is pretty much 3-on-3. I mean, yes, it's 4-on-4, but the artillery aren't really out hunting, you know, and getting in people's faces. So it's 3-on-3 as far as folks in the field. So now it's, you know, number one, I have to go help out my buddy, the TD, who is taking hits. And as soon as he's dead, they're going to have one less guy to focus on and be distracted by. And I don't want him to die. The other thing is that I need to get in there, do my part, and take advantage of what a medium tank does. And that is flank, harass, show up in one location, disappear, show up in another location. That's the advantage. Now, through the harassment and through the killing of baddies, we're now down to 1 guy on the flag. And one of them, who is out there, is very low on health. He is now done. And now we're down to 1 heavy tank, which is a good thing. Now, I don't know what the line of sight is for the artillery, so I can't count on that. And I don't know, you know, if my other TD is able to get eyes on him either. But you can see, you know, decent speed. I'm pulling in, pulling out. There is no rush. I mean, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds until he caps the flag. I'm not spotted. I'm not, you know, I'm only a few percent concerned about artillery because you never know. He tracked me. Now, this is a bad situation for me. Took the opportunity to repair the treads because, once again, I don't want to be caught out in the open in that situation. Not incredibly fast. It's, what, 32-ish kilometers per hour at that moment. There he is. And now this is where you just need to play Ring Around the Rosie. Hope you're lucky. He just got hit by, you know, a fellow green team member. And my job is just to kind of disappear and reappear and, you know, disappear off that map, do a drive-by, and just continue to whittle him down. So I'm asking for help because I really want somebody to show up. And you can see my tank destroyer in the far west, northwest. He says he's on the way. So we'll eventually have that. And again, not too concerned because now he's back to, what, 237, 236 until he captures the flag. So no rush. Take your time. I don't think he's going to pursue me. And again, this particular tank, know your enemy. The tank that I'm up against, it's a British heavy. That particular tank is not going to outrun me. I'm not too worried about it. So the Black Prince, well, you know, any British tank in general, high rate of fire. You got to watch out for that. So what I'm doing is just slowly, you know, death by 1,000 cuts. I just slowly take my time, show up, whittle him down, hope that my artillery gets a piece of him. Meanwhile, you know, my tank destroyer was showing up, and eventually he goes away. Now, this particular game, 32,000 in silver, 36-32. It was the first game of that session, so it did get the 2 times multiplier. You know, anytime you're alive and you win, it's definitely a good game in my eyes. However, being the type of person that I am, I'm not going to call it beat myself up, but I have high expectations for myself, and it's just a fun little healthy motivational thing that I do with myself, and that is I always try just to strive to be the best that I can be in whatever I do. And in this particular game, coming in second, not too shabby. I can live with it. I won't pull my hair out. Now we have one more game that is going to come up, and again it's an A-44 game. So again, tier 7, Russian medium, and it is you know, in that line of tanks, best described by having the turret in the back, extremely flat, extremely low, and that's the style of this particular type of tank line. Now in this particular map that's coming up, we are going to be playing an assault map, and this is going to be on Karelia. Now you're probably wondering what it is that I was doing right now by pulling that up, and to be honest, I do not recall. I might have either A, pressed the button on accident, or B, I was checking something. I not be knowing. So don't even ask. No, you can ask if you want. I'll just tell you the same answer, which is, I don't know. All right, now this, I mean, I say this about a lot of tanks. I say it about a lot of maps. But I'm just going to go. So with that disclaimer said, I really like this map. I'm pretty much partial to any type of map that has these nice wide open spaces. I don't know. They're fun. They're pretty and they're fun. I get kind of bored with a whole bunch of buildings. Not my thing. But with these wide open maps, I feel like I have room to dance around and do my thing. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is help my team out in 2 ways. One is, of course, I want to put my gun into play. But I am not a frontline guy. However, you'll notice that I am in the front line. For those of you that are wondering why, and I'm sure most, you know, a lot of you guys already understand it, but, you know, for those of you guys that are wondering why, it's because I want to hurry up and get into position to hopefully, one, see the enemy so that we can start getting artillery into play, because the artillery is very, very dependent on other players. And the other reason is if we do have some goofballs that are rushing us, even though they're on defense and they should not be rushing. But anytime I come against Reds, and they're rushing, I want them to come across some opposition. And the opposition is to slow them down and give them pause. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop where I stopped here. I've got some defense, some protection from my right. However, I am detected. So the only person that has some ability to reach out and touch me that's not direct line of sight would be the artillery. And as far as direct line of sight is concerned, it was just the guy you know, straight ahead. Now we've lost sight of all the bad guys. Why? Because our light tank, our only light tank, may I stress, ran out there and foolishly exposed himself in a way that allowed him to live for a few seconds. Didn't really help us, and we died. So it was a real waste on his part, in my opinion. Now this guy's pushing way too far out, which is fine with me because he's by himself. Yes, he's going to spot for his team, but basically he is asking to be killed by us because he is so deep into our territory, and they did not come in strong numbers. Our artillery just took out somebody, so that's nice. or excuse me, the enemy artillery just got killed by, you know, one of our guys, so that's nice. And also too, just to point out, the tank that I just took out, I took it out by the commander's hatch. Yeah, Russian tanks are not known for accuracy. I just feel like this tank, this line, I don't know. It's completely unsubstantiated, completely just subjective. It feels pretty accurate. I don't know. I feel very confident in this tank. Again, just, you know, the placebo effect, just in my own head. So take it for whatever it's worth. Now, nobody's really pushing forward here on the west because we're kind of pinned down. And finally, we got somebody to expose himself. I'm doing a very foolish thing and exposing my my side there, the full 90 degrees, especially going slowly up and over that hill. But I really wanted to get over here, and so I was trying to pedal as fast as I can. It was a gamble. It was a calculated risk, and I'm hoping that it pays off. I don't know. Sometimes I do silly things. You know, I do things that work. And I repeat things that work, and that's common sense, that's life. But we're human beings, and sometimes I ask myself, what would this be like? You know, how would this be better? And sometimes it's just for the fun of it. You know, never ever stop having fun, whether it's this game or in life. If you're not having fun doing something, you need to stop doing it, in my opinion. I mean, obviously there's things and chores and life, we have to do things. It's not always, you know, a bowl of cherries. I get that, but this is a recreation here. This is not life or death. And you know, have fun with this thing. Who cares? Personally, my opinion, who cares about stats? You want to run over here and try and experiment, and you die, and you tried it a few times to make it better, and you kept dying. Well, at least you tried. But who cares? It's a game. Enjoy. So there, I was shooting that heavy tank from the rear, and that's one of the things when it comes to mediums that I do not pretend to be an expert on. I make lots of mistakes all the time, probably forever will. My hope is that I will become better in life and make less and less mistakes. But one of the biggest lessons I've learned when it comes to light tanks and medium tanks is stop thinking like a heavy tanker, because that's my problem. I think like a heavy tanker way too much. In fact, I was watching I responded to a statement that, and I forget your name, that said it, and I apologize, but they were saying, wow, you really are aggressive in the AT8. And I don't think they weren't being mean, but they also weren't being complimentary, in my opinion. I could be wrong, because I was just really going, you know, pedal to the metal, and I was just kind of keeping up with everybody, well, based on the tank's ability. And I need to stop and think and remember, not all tanks are driven the same. And I get that, you know, rationally. But when I get fired up and I see bad guys and I want to shoot things, I kind of get caught up and just go out there. So with this medium tank, or any medium tank for that matter, using its speed as one of its weapons, as one of its useful characteristics, is very, very important. Make sure you go out there and reposition all the time as necessary, obviously. But that's one of the big things that really helps. And that was the game. So I did some spotting, you know, moved to different positions to hit folks from the side. I didn't quite get to the rear. You know, and it paid off. I lived. That's a win. You're alive. Congratulations. So I made it, you know, 32,000, nothing crazy, 2330 for a non ×2. I'm okay with that. So if I can tell myself in the past to hurry and press the button so we can blast through this, that would be great, but I can't talk to myself in the past. Only Marty McFly can do that. And nothing too impressive.
Now, where did my crew go off to? Oh, I see. There they are.
Okay, girls, tell them who they are if they're receiving this transmission.
You are one of the 47 Ronin. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.